You guys, Jarek here, and welcome to another episode of the Best Trials Evolution maps. A week from today, and it would be a month between last episode and this episode, so I owe you guys another video. I'm trying to juggle a lot of games right now. I have Black Ops 2 actually coming here for free. Halo 4, I'm waiting for another patch or the next Spartan Ops episode to come out for there. And there's Far Cry 3 is coming soon. There's a lot of games, so I'm going to try to get an episode out as quickly as I can. But don't be expecting to see a whole lot of Trials Evolution stuff on my channel until all the video games die down just a little bit. November, for some reason November is always the month where suddenly there's a million games to play and you have no money. So hey, Trials Evolution. Let's focus on the first map. This map is Rundown University. This has been kind of a feature on many other YouTube channels. Even Rooster Teeth kind of showed this on the Trials Files video, which is, you know, it's just a really well-flowing map, and it deserves some attention. So it focuses on the Gecko. You can only use the BMX bike that they added in the DLC. And they added pegs to it so you can actually grind now. Now other people have done this, but they added kind of spark shooting out of the pegs, which is a nice touch. Other maps didn't do that. I actually did want to upload another episode of the Best Trials Evolution maps sometime late in October around Halloween time. Never really got around to editing it, just kind of deleted the raw footage and said, fuck it, I'll do another one some other time. And yeah, there were some other maps that did grinding and whatnot, but I think this one has done it the best and it works the smoothest. So yeah, there's that map. That map is pretty well done. This guy does a lot of different maps that are just like rundown area here. And I'm not sure why he focuses on rundown areas, but there you go. The Deserted Gecko. So this one's obviously a BMX bike map. You can tell by the name. The Gecko is the name of the BMX bike that they added in the Origin of Pain DLC. And this map isn't really too flashy, or it doesn't really do anything really gimmicky, but it's just a really well done map. It flows smoothly, it's not incredibly difficult, it has some somewhat challenging aspects of it, or parts of it if you want to do a perfect run, but other than that, it's just a standard Trials map. The scenery is almost your stereotypical Egyptian scenery, if anything. A lot of ancient buildings around. If you look in the background, you can see it. He actually did really make it look like you were in a vast desert instead of just a small sandbox that he made and tried to just add a little bit of extra added detail. And that's about right there. That's about there. I don't know what it was. It tripped me up a few times, but I think about the third time I tried this, I was able to get through without crashing, get a gold to upload. I'm not going to upload a video of any map unless I get a gold, or unless I crash it at the very minimum once. So there's that map, pretty well done. Gets a nice scenery at the end, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Under People, which is underground and left behind. That's the details of this map. This map is yeah, I wasn't actually going to add this in because the way the map actually plays, I don't know, I didn't really have a whole lot of fun with it. It was meh, but there's some kind of cool parts in it, kind of gimmicky things in here that I figured I might as well go ahead and add it in anyway. Especially the end. Now, this map does something that I love and I hate. They added sort of a cutscene at the end after you already complete the map. Now, I like that for obvious reasons. It's just cool extra added stuff that he threw in. Well, here you go. Here has some really amusing stuff. And the reason I don't like it is because in maps where I tend to crash a lot, nice save by the way, in maps where I tend to crash a lot, I like to look at the leaderboard and just watch a replay and go, I don't need to get a gold in this, someone else already did it, I can just replay theirs. But unfortunately, when they have a cutscene at the end, I can't do this because it cuts out that cutscene. It'll only show a good 2 to 3 seconds after that person finishes the map. So, you won't see the cutscene, and I'm going to have to do it myself. But hey, I got a gold, it wasn't that difficult. And the ending cutscene is actually somewhat long, and actually kind of amusing nonetheless. Suddenly you're no longer underground, you are now above ground, and you're in what seems to be kind of a more futuristic type area. Or at least that's what the guy went for, but it just looks like modern times with spaceships. So one's taking off and, oh, magically disappearing. And oh shit, here comes another one. Dead Town. If I remember correctly, this map is very short. I think it only took me about 35 seconds to beat. But basically, it's an abandoned town. You're just driving through, and for some odd reason, abandoned towns always draws everybody's interest. There's quite a few of them in this state, actually. Mostly abandoned towns that are in Western Oregon. people will step in and they'll get rid of the buildings and they'll let nature take back over. But a lot of the towns in Eastern Oregon, where, you know, Oregon Trail, a lot of people were moving over to Oregon way back in Old West times, a lot of those abandoned small towns are still there. And you see these really old buildings. I don't know, something about it's really, really amusing to me to see a building that at one point did carry some sort of imports, did carry some business, people lived there at one point, and now it's been abandoned for so and so amount of years. I don't know, it's just really amusing to see that. But at the same time, I guess if I wanted to see that, I could just go to Detroit, which I really don't want to do. Trial Traveler. Now this one is an interesting map because it's sort of a random map. There's two different endings at the end, and I'm not exactly sure how to spawn what ending and how to go to which ending. It just kind of seems to happen at random for me. I'm sure it has something to do with all these icons laying everywhere, these signs, these targets that you pick up, but I could never figure out what actually made you go to what, so I'm just going to say it's completely random at this point until someone corrects me in the comments and tells me how it works. I don't know. But yeah, there's two different ones. I'm watching a replay for the first one. For the second one, I recorded it myself. And right around here, at the bottom of this ramp, is where it splits. That ramp that comes in from the side will either be that one, or it'll be the one leading you up. And then you randomly teleport, and it is called Trial Traveler. So I'm just going to assume this is supposed to be kind of Old West times that you randomly traveled to. And that's the first one, or at least, actually, this is the second one I found. And I understood the title when I actually came across this, but now let me go over to the other one. This one, so this is actually me playing. And you'll see right here, another ramp will come from the other side, and you'll go up, and you'll be somewhere else when you come out of that giant target. Not sure what time period this is supposed to be, or what, but it's cool nonetheless having two different endings. Adds a little bit, kind of some replay value to some of the maps, because that's a problem that's always sort of happened with Trials, and I'm really glad they added the custom map editor, because without that, it has very little replay value. Unless you're really that much of a perfectionist and you really, really want to get perfect. Now the last map, Metamorphic. This map is the true definition of random. I don't know where to begin explaining this map. This map has so many different variables, it's crazy. I started playing this map, I was playing it for 40 minutes, and was still seeing new things 40 minutes in that I hadn't seen when I first started playing. The time of the day changes, the atmosphere changes, the lighting changes, the area surrounding the map itself changes, buildings will be entirely different. One time it could be a suburban map, another time it can be industrial. Parts of the map itself, the ramps change. There is so many different variables. The only way to actually enjoy this map, I can't explain it, you have to go play it yourself. You'd really be doing yourself a treat. And you see that sign that has an arrow that says right. You can either go through this tunnel or above. Usually there's two arrows, sometimes there's only one, sometimes it only gives you one choice. You can either go over the hill or through the tunnel. I prefer through the tunnel because fuck hill climbs. And even in here, you see these wooden bridges. A lot of the times that'll be like random rocks that'll be there. There are so many different variables here, I really can't even begin to explain this map. Like I said, the only way to really know what I mean is to just play it. And there's two different endings, actually multiple endings, more than that, so let me just show you. And I know for a fact there's at least one more ending to this map, so this map really is random. Go ahead and try it, you're doing yourself a big favor. And there you go, this has been another episode of the Best Trials Evolution Maps. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next video.